All right, there was the intro. Welcome to
the
Lakers Spotlight on Lakerholics
for today, man.
I don't know, man. It's September. Everybody's ready for Halloween, I guess. I don't know. I will say I'm using a new computer setup today. That might have something to do with it, but it was working fine right up until I started doing all this. So I don't know. I'm just a man doing things in a world that doesn't make much sense to me anymore. Anyway,
it's also your job, man.
I don't get paid to do this. Come on.
You get paid to manage computers.
Yeah, well, that's my computer's working fine. It's the Talk Studio situation that isn't being managed. But I think we're good now. I think Gerald probably surreptitiously restarted the broadcast so that it would record. I'm not going to blather on about things I don't actually know about. We were talking about Luka Doncic. We will continue talking about Luka Doncic. The dude was dominant in EuroLeague basketball. His stat line is a little bit ridiculous. He averaged 34.7 points per game, 8.6 assists, 7.1 rebounds, and almost a half a steal, it looks like.
He was averaging 3.2 steals.
No, he had a 2.7 steals and almost a little over half a block in 33 minutes a game. If that translates to the NBA, I don't know, because of how focused the Denver Nuggets are on making sure Jokic gets his triple doubles, because of how good OKC is, I'm not sure that's an MVP stat line. That those rebounds and or assists got to creep north of 10, I feel like, or get right there at 10. It's got to be 9 boards, 9 assists, something along those lines. That's if the Lakers win-loss record doesn't lead the NBA. If that's the stat line he's putting up and the Lakers are the best team in the NBA, I don't know. Mongo, a long-time part of the Lakerholics family on the Lakerholics blog, posted that it's going to be hard for anybody to win MVP with LeBron James on the team because he's just such an elephant in the room. He's just that he has that much weight to his game, his very presence.
It's his last season, and
legacy.
I think it's a bigger challenge is OKC's record.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, that's the toughest challenge for Luka to win MVP. Because the Lakers are gonna. I mean, if my whole theory of the story that I put on Lakerholics is that if Luka wins the MVP, the Lakers probably win the championship, and you could probably almost flip that around. That if Luka doesn't have an MVP season, the Lakers probably aren't going to win a championship. And it's a wild. It's really interesting because 25 times out of the 70 times that since they've had the most valuable player award for the regular season, the same player has won it. The MVP has won a championship. But ironically, last year was the first time in 10 years that it's been done. When SGA did it, and the last one to do it before him was Steph.
Yep.
And a lot of it has to do with injuries. Because if you look at every one of those seasons that the MVP didn't win, man, a lot of those seasons the MVP got problems in the series or the playoffs, or somebody on the MVP's team suffered. So it's going to be a difficult thing. But you have to say the way that getting the contract signed and the extension with Luka not dawdling along and taking time saying, "Hey, I'm a Laker. I'm doing it. I'm buying a goddamn house." Sign it. So once he did that, and then watching him play, watching him lose the weight and how he looked, I mean, he shot 5 more free throws per game.
Yeah,
because that's going to be massive. And he shot 90% from the line.
He's a great free throw shooter. If that aspect of his game translates to the NBA, I think that he's got a really good because again of how the defense is not as much of a factor. That in the NBA, that 34.7 points per game could be close to 40.
I think he's going to average 35.
I think he might if he plays the way he played in EuroLeague, with the same minutes per game between 33 and
we
35.
give him this, and we really focus the offense on Luka like.
And well, they're going to, and that's what
there's no question. I agree.
There's just no question. I mean, when he sits, it won't be.
No.
But there should be, in my mind, one of the big things everybody gets on and on and on about is like our lack of point guards. I think we have 4 point guards if you count Reeves. If you count Reeves, we got Luka, we got LeBron, we got Smart, and we got Reeves.
Right.
If you count Reeves as a point guard, which I think Reeves is probably a better point guard than Smart.
Shooting guard, really, but
they're both not great point guards. They're small enough that they play the point guard position or can. Smart's not a great distributor. He's not a great passer. He's not really good at much besides defense, and that's great. That's fine. We know that's what we have him for.
Well, what he has though is that alpha dog mentality that you.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
You got to have that spark plug dog.
No, I totally agree with that. He and Vando have that kind of gritty. I'm going to get it done on defense. I'm going to tell you guys to come with me and get it done on defense, and we're going to get it done together. Right. Kind of vibe. And I think Smart's probably better at it than Vando is because he's been around the league for a lot longer and been in a higher pressure in more high pressure situations. And that's great. In a way, I think Smart could be a good role model and good guy for Vando to soak up a little bit because, like, look, Vando's never going to be he's exactly like Marcus Smart, but bigger and faster now. Like, he's never going to be a knockdown shooter. He's never going to be a slashing scorer. He's not going to have a great handle and like get to the cup all the time. But he can change the game on defense, and he can change the game with his offensive rebounding. And if he can, and it seems like he's accepted that, and health has been an issue. And which is, you could say the same thing for Smart the last 3 years. Health has been an issue for a lot of the guys we have on our team.
You could say that for half of the league.
That's an NBA problem. That's not a Lakers problem.
Yeah, but it is an NBA problem, man.
It's definitely an NBA problem.
Talking just a second, let's go to a little sidebar here because I wanted to talk about this. One of the things that I love about the Eurobasket tournament and FIBA are the 40-minute games.
8 minutes shorter.
The NBA wants to cut down on injuries, on wear and tear on their superstars, their assets appreciation, and then not change the records and still play 82 games and still have all of that thing there. Just change the goddamn minutes to 10 minutes a quarter.
Yep.
It is such a beautiful solution that would save
WNBA does it, FIBA does it, EuroLeague does it, Olympics do it. Everybody but the NBA.
It's so stupid because it would make the game even better.
It would make the game, because everybody would be fresher
in a 48-minute game when we know they're coasting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially between the second and third quarters. Like there's moments in the second
between like October, November, and February. Oh, those games are horrible.
And those are and like everybody used to give Shaq a hard time because he said it out loud. The part that people used to just be quiet about, that he was going to use some of the regular season to work himself into shape. Yeah. And to think that like Shaq was the first player that ever did that, or was the only player to ever do that, or whatever,
it's good enough
is
to be
utterly absurd. He just said the quiet part out loud, and that's what got people all riled up about. And so,
the problem is too, you also have another guy on your team, Kobe Bryant, who's like the complete flip.
Sure, but that's the thing. But the only thing that made anybody mad was that Shaq acknowledged it.
Yeah,
because everybody does it. Kareem did it. Magic did it. Everybody does it. Every great player.
I don't know. Yeah, when you look at it, Luka didn't do it this year. I don't see LeBron.
No, he was out. He was out for the beginning of the season.
There's one thing, but listen, there's a difference between you can simulate game conditions, but you can't simulate game conditioning until you actually play in the games. So it does take some time.
Or intensity. We got
5 preseason games now. Used to be we had
down to 5.
A couple of dozen games.
Used to have 12. Now then down to 10. Now down to 5. And I think that's too few. I think 7 or 8 would be a nice number. 10 would, in my opinion, I'd love to see 10. Because 10, you give 3 games to your two-way roster invite guys just showing up who desperately need a job.
That you need to see. Some competition you need.
You really get a chance to see some of those 12 through 15 guys
Considering you're only going to get a practice a week the rest of the year. Those practices
and then
are like gold.
Then you sort of split the difference for the middle games, and then the last 2 or 3 games, it's your team. You're putting your rotation out. You're seeing, okay, does this guy work? Does this guy work? Does this work? Does this work? We're checking it all out, and that's fine.
The games get more serious. People play harder as it gets closer to the end of the season until we go in a stretch run. But I love the idea. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him even in preseason. Do the 10-minute quarters. I think it will be great.
I think if anything, the next CBA negotiations will have. So let's use this to pivot to a fun topic. If that were to happen, it would have to happen in the next CBA negotiations, which I think are like 3 or 4 years out at this point. So it's not happening anytime soon. I don't think they'd be like, you know what, these injuries are crazy, because they've already come out. The NBA has already come out and been like, injuries don't, or a lot of games don't affect anything. A lot of minutes don't affect anything. There's science. It's like, I don't know. You sound like some of the modern climate scientists that I'm not big fans of. So that's fine. That's fine. I hear you, NBA. I get it. It's really tied down to the amount of money that you want to make in 8 more minutes, 82 games, all of that. More money. I get it.
Well,
I get it.
We don't lose any money this way.
You do, because you lose 8 minutes per team per game of advertising time, which is really it's quite a lot of time if you think about it from an advertiser's standpoint. I mean, it's just gone. I'm not saying that I care about that. I'm just saying that that's the reality. You and I don't care about that because we just want for our best players to be available.
I mean, I'm willing to make. Listen, I spent $1,000 to go down to see the Lakers play last year. My grandson and I went down and flew down in the morning, watched the game, flew back in the evening. $500 a ticket for plus airfare and so forth. So I don't care if it was a 40-minute game. I don't care if every quarter was 10 minutes. Would have been fine with me.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm the same way. I went to the Spark, took the family to the Sparks game last Sunday, and we had a great time. And we were out of there. Game started at 3. We were home by 5. It all just was like a nice. It squishes together quite nicely. All right, but what I was going to say is this: none of this would happen until the next CBA, and the next CBA I think will also include how the advertisers and sponsors get to influence your players' income, thanks to none other than Kawhi Leonard, a.k.a. the Claw.
We have to spend a few minutes talking about Kawhi.
Oh, that's more than a few. So this is my thing. Everybody's trying to make this look similar or feel similar to what happened with Minnesota and Joe Smith. And if you're not aware, I'm just going to recap real quick. Minnesota was negotiating with Joe Smith. They were up against the salary cap. They said, if you take less money now, and you have to understand, this is all quite illegal at the time. Hey, thanks, Intel Wild. I don't know if Intel Wild donated on Gerald's or on ours, because we have 0 people watching, at least that I can see. So I don't know, but hey, thanks, Intel. $5 is $5. And Gerald, you deserve that $5. Don't spend it all in one place, though. Are the toenail clippers going to get slammed by the league, fellas? That's what we're talking about, Intel. That's what we're talking about. So, okay, if you're not aware, Minnesota and Joe Smith had a hush-hush, under-the-table agreement. If you sign for less now, we'll pay you more down the line.
Wait. Their agreement was in writing, though. It was under the table.
But it wasn't in his. But it wasn't in his contract. It was in emails. I don't know if it was on an actual signed document that they were going to submit to the NBA, because that would have been caught. But yeah,
they had written proof.
It's what bad crime. It's what bad crime is all about. This is what bad crime is. Bad crime is you are easily caught. You become convicted. You become a convicted felon. You don't become a legendary criminal. You become an absurd criminal. You become somebody who is ridiculed and mocked by the greater public. I don't want to get in deeper. I could go on and on about that sort of thing. But point being is that Joe Smith and the Timberwolves had an agreement outside of his contract. We'll give you more money on down the line. Sign for less now. And he did it. And then they were caught. And so then the contract was voided. Joe Smith couldn't play for the Timberwolves. He had to go somewhere else. I forget where he ended up. The Timberwolves were docked 5 first-round draft picks, dropped later just to 2. They got 3 of them back.
They got 1 back.
No, my friend. No. Go back and double-check that number. Regardless, they got some of them back, which is absurd, I think. Either they got, I don't know, did they get time off for good behavior? Like, oh, well, you didn't do that since then, so you get your pick back, guy. Like, that's a little weird to me, but okay, whatever, NBA, I get it. You want the Ant-Man's there, you want the Timberwolves to be good. I get it. If they didn't have Ant-Man, I'll bet it wouldn't have happened. Regardless, it's weird because Intel, I see that you posted a thing. The whole thing is working really weird today. Let's see if this is set up correctly. I don't know what's going on with the chat. I don't know why it's not working. If there's people watching and you're posting stuff in the chat and you're asking me questions, I can't see them today. We've had a weird thing with Talk Studio. Gerald's running a show on his Pop Culture Cosmos on this channel, it looks like to me, but he doesn't want. It's all very confusing. I'm not going to get into it. It's on a level of technical stuff that I kind of just don't give a fuck about. So Tom and I are having a great job. Oh, wait. YYC, there we are. Lakers need 60 wins for Luka to have a chance at MVP. I think that's fair.
That's probably a pretty good assessment.
I don't know what is going on here. I don't know. Gerald must have done something with his 2 shows because I think he's nuking the. I'll have to ask him at some point because every comment that pops up there quickly goes away, and I'm like, but why?
Well, you got to be quicker, man.
No, I mean, he runs his account. It's his account. He's in charge. I'm just a guest host. You're a guest, and we're all just living in Gerald's world, so that's fine. Anyway, so to bring this back to Kawhi Leonard, if there's not the smoking gun, there's just this guy, this podcaster, basically, who says he's found all this stuff. The NBA is investigating. From the tone of Adam Silver when he talks about the investigation, it doesn't sound like he's on a witch hunt. It sounds like he's on a, oh gosh.
Sounds like he would like to run away. He'd like it to go
maybe
away.
Maybe something bad did happen. I don't know. And so it's a little bit, everything about it already is surprising.
It's kind of surprising to me because
I think it's a little odd. Yes, that's a nice way of
your first thing should be the integrity of the league and the fairness of negotiating and trades and salary cap circumvention and so forth. There is no more serious thing that can undermine the integrity of the league as a whole than people cheating on the salary cap.
Well, so that brings me to my real point.
You have to, first off, I think it's really a mistake by Silver not to come out and say that the Clippers have got to prove that they didn't do this. Instead of
no.
Saying the league has got to prove that they did it.
No, that's not how things work. I'm sorry.
But because this is the third time they caught these guys doing the shit.
Well, but they never actually caught him.
It's the third time, and the evidence that keeps coming out gets worse and worse and worse. You can say it's circumstantial, and circumstantial is sufficient in the CBA for the commissioner to decide. They're going to come down before this is done. They're going to penalize heavily the Clippers, and they're going to penalize Kawhi Leonard. They're not going to let Kawhi Leonard sign for a championship team. He's going to be banned for at least a year.
I don't.
And I'll add one last thing onto this. He ain't ever going to be a Laker, in my opinion, even if we did it, even if we could do it to prevent him from signing with another team. I don't want to see that SOB on my team ever. Period. MFer.
So as the comments are able to come in and go out, it looks like YYC is making a great point here. And I really do want to apologize. I can't see the chat comments. They go away very quickly for some reason today.
Maybe it's change the screen and it'll help.
No, it's something because Gerald's here on my. I don't want to get into it. I think it's something that Gerald's doing on his end because I think his 2 shows are colliding, and he's trying to keep the basketball stuff off of his Pop Culture Cosmos show. If I were to have a theory about it all, that's my working theory. So yeah, YYC.
Now I can see the chat now on the side.
Right, you can see Gerald's there, right? Oh, there's the chat. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're moving on. You can always see the chat, actually. If you press that chat button, you can always check out what people are saying, for what it's worth. All right, so I disagree. I think that because we technically still live in America, or some resemblance of it, you are innocent until proven guilty. That's what they did for the current president of the United States. He's a 37-time convicted felon as a result, because they had to prove that he was guilty. We couldn't just assume that he was guilty. They proved it right 37 times. There's a whole lot of other times that he was able to skate on thin ice away and or whatever. Whatever he does when that happens. So I think the onus is on the NBA to prove that there is something wrong. And I think this is where it gets into a gray area, because we're talking about two different businesses, two different houses. Aspiration, which is a digital banking company that went under, has no real formal ties to the NBA other than two guys who are part owners of the Clippers. Well, one full owner, the other was a part owner, gave them about $13 million over the course of a year. Now the timing of it is, and the time,
How much did you say?
Well, Steve Ballmer gave him Steve Ballmer,
$62 million.
Well, that was what was promised.
Ballmer gave him $50 million investment, and then later, when Kawhi's first payment came due, he gave him another $10 million. And then when Kawhi's payment was late, Wong came in and popped in $2 million.
Not our Wong, a different Wong.
No, not our Wong. This is he's not related to one of the million other relatives I have.
Right.
I signed in at the convention about 10 years ago at San Francisco, and I looked for Tom Wongs. There were 850 Tom Wongs at that convention.
Did you guys all hang out somewhere?
No, I did not at all. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I'm amazed that I just even have a Thomas H. Wong Gmail account that's not got a bunch of numbers after it.
Yeah, numbers or symbols or whatever. That's funny.
Yeah,
anyway, thank you.
4455.
Thank you for clarifying that, Tom. Yeah, I forgot about that initial $50 million investment.
Yeah, that's the problem. That this is a point where the company was in bankruptcy, close to bankruptcy. Nobody was investing money into it, and the money that came in was going immediately out to the Kawhi's account.
Right.
Well, so regardless of, I understand your point about
it's a bad look all around.
At least I expected Silver to have a little balance. He seemed to be totally in favor of. He seemed like he was Mark Cuban, supporting and backing. And like Cuban's argument, this can't be Ballmer because he's too smart to do that. You mean a fucking billionaire can't just screw up like that?
Listen, hey man, everybody's human, everybody's fallible. I think this is the thing. Everybody's like talking. This is what I'm saying. Everybody's trying to make this the same thing as the Minnesota thing, and it is very, very different.
We're talking about 50 million, hundreds of millions of dollars instead of. It's
potentially much worse, but like if you look around, so this is my point. My ultimate point is I don't think the Clippers are going to get away. I don't think they're going to get away with it. I don't think it'll be much more than a hey. Be better about doing your crime. It'll be like they'll get a hand slap. They'll get a hand slap. They'll get a hand slap. They'll get a hand slap, and maybe Kawhi Leonard gets a hand slap. I know. I know. It's crazy. Why would I say it's crazy? It's crazy.
They practically deserve to be banned as a team.
They're not going
to move them to Seattle. That's the solution.
None of that's going to happen. They're not going to strip bone. They didn't even strip. Listen, they didn't. People seem to forget they didn't strip. God, I'm going to forget his name.
No, they banned him for a year.
No, they didn't strip.
And he quit.
They didn't strip Donald Sterling of ownership. They banned him from every NBA arena, every NBA activity. He couldn't participate in the NBA, and so eventually he caved in and he sold. Yeah. And you could argue that being like
so bad for Ballmer that he's going to sell. You watch and see.
I don't think they're going to ban him. I think they're going to penalize the team.
It's going to be so embarrassing when all of this comes out.
I don't know that it will. I'm not so sure. I would like to believe that.
It's already a point where 9 out of 10 average citizens who look at the record are going to say, "Hey, man, the guy's cheating." He's got 15 times as much wealth as all of the other owners combined.
Yeah.
And he's throwing his money around. They've questioned him on the original transaction deal. They caught him cheating on another one, and they penalized him. This is the third strike right now.
But he's not going to. They're not.
Third strike.
It won't be. It won't be because he just built a new dome.
I heard that. It won't be because he's on the committee that audits it. It won't be because he's the richest owner. It won't be because he's supposedly such a smart guy that he wouldn't do something so dumb? When you get
Well,
those kind of defenses, man, you are really hanging by your fingernails.
No, it's bad. It's bad. So this is to me, this is like what it really all means is that for the last 5-10 years, it's become obvious to the casual NBA fan when it would have been maybe not as obvious, and it's been obvious, I think, to Lakers fans for quite some time, that the Buss family very much runs the Lakers like a small market team, like a small business kind of an operation. They have this reputation for going out, mainly because of the Shaq deal. It's all based off of like how we lured Shaq away with a couple more $1 million back when that was legal. There wasn't a CBA to stop it, and they were operating within the rules, and it was fine. Once the rules became, well, now these are the penalties, the Lakers stopped doing that sort of thing. They have never been a big
championships. It stopped winning championships like they
That's not true. We won after we lured Shaq away. We won 5 championships. Come on,
well, the rules got a little strict. Then the rules got even more stricter.
6 championships since they changed the rules on us. 6 championships since they changed. Well, let's make it 3 or 4. I don't remember when the CBA was. Let's make it 3. We haven't been. We're no Charlotte. We're no.
They took a lot of championships away from us that we would have had if they hadn't changed the rules.
We'll see. Let's not get into that's theoretical bullshit.
Well,
I don't deal in theoretical bullshit. You know, I don't deal in theoretical bullshit.
There's a team that's got 30, 40 championships for the Lakers somewhere.
I guess.
We just don't happen to live in that damn multiverse.
Yeah, and Iron Man's Dr. Doom and
we're stuck with the Celtics 18, and we only got 17, man.
That's going to change over the next 5 years. All right, so here's the thing. The Lakers went out and got their own billionaire owner.
Yep.
They said, oh, we're never going to be able to rightfully compete. We're going to see players like Kawhi Leonard who see like, oh, yeah, I'm going to make the max money, NBA money, but there's also this little side agreement where I'll get another 60, 70, 80, whatever the number is, through an endorsement by a company that's mostly backed by the owner of the same team I play on, and that's fine. It's fine as long as we keep it not too messy, as long as nobody blows it and puts it in a contract or in an email. We keep it all to the side.
If they don't punish them for this, what's to stop them until there's another CBA?
I think this is. I would argue.
There is one NBA message out there where they have a bunch of different owners who have said that if this is not stopped and punished heavily, you're going to see every team in the league now all of a sudden be doing the same thing.
I think that's going to be what the next CBA is about. This is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but I think that they have to do something before then, or else teams are going to start doing that.
I mean, I know they can make amendments that like the players can vote on and the owners can vote on, like in season, like I think they can make addendums to the CBA. And so if something like that were to come along, I wouldn't be too surprised, because I think you're right. I think that the optics of it are so awful. They have to do something
about the optics because they can't allow it to happen.
No, I agree. The optics are awful, and nobody wants to think that. Again, that's the whole crusade. You would think that you're right? Like you would think because of Adam Silver's small market crusade that he's been on pretty much since he became steward of the league, commissioner of the league.
Not those Clippers, man.
Well, but he's in this case because
he's kissing Ballmer's ass. Is what he's doing.
He's all the owners, and so I think that's what you're saying. If enough owners come out and say this has to stop, then something will happen. But it all has to be within the boys and one women's club currently. And that Jeannie Buss is still technically the owner until, I don't know, another 7 months or so. It's all within the boys club of like, well, all right, we'll police ourselves.
I don't think
that's what you're hoping for. That's what the common fan is hoping for. That is, in essence, the other
owners have got to be pissed.
Because it's clear to me that Silver doesn't really care. It's clear to me that Silver does not care about this. I think that this is something that Adam Silver is pretty much fine with as long as it doesn't get aired out in public.
Yeah,
I think he's been fine with it. But it's in the public now. But he's not. As we've said, and I think we agree, he's not jumping in front of this train saying like, "We've got to stop this train."
No, and I'm disappointed that he is.
Yeah, he's a little bit like, "Oh, I mean, it'd be great if the train stopped."
Yeah,
but I'm not going to be the one jumping in front of that train. So
you gotta figure that this is this is about as bad as the star of the league being caught gambling. I mean, this is like they're trying to dodge it like the Dodgers did Ohtani. That whole mess.
That's not a mess. That was
obviously a disaster that could have screwed the whole league. And you definitely know that. I think what you're saying is the NBA is going to do the same thing to the Kawhi situation that Major League Baseball did to Ohtani's situation.
I think
which is find a way where the league and the player don't get hurt.
Right. And his interpreter is going to go to jail for life.
And somebody like Kawhi Leonard might end up getting a minimum contract to win an NBA championship.
I think that they might force no, I don't think that. I don't even think that YYC. I don't think Kawhi will get suspended for the rest of the year. I think his uncle might be barred from making NBA contracts. I think that's the extent of punishment that would happen to Kawhi Leonard. And I think that maybe Lawrence Frank or the Clippers in general get some kind of hand slap. I don't think we're going to see Ballmer getting banned from any arenas. I don't think any of that's going to happen. I don't think any of that's going to happen because it's not like there's anything that directly affects.
You always predict the most conservative least.
You think this is conservative? You think my opinion is conservative when everybody else out there is saying the opposite, that they think, they're going to destroy the Clippers. The Clippers will be a
they're going to destroy the Clippers and destroy Kawhi Leonard. And that's the only fair assessment to come out of the whole thing.
I'm not talking about fair.
You're both the cheaters. Take the cheaters and ban them.
This is what we always come down to. This is her and I always. This is the crux of all of our disagreements, and that I am firmly rooted in reality, and I think that you are.
I'm firmly rooted in what's right.
Or what you would like to see happen. Those are not always
what's right. I basically believe in right and wrong. You can look at here and see Kawhi Leonard is wrong. Steve Ballmer is wrong. They're both bad.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Cheaters, they should be punished.
Sure, I agree.
Anything less than that is simply letting somebody with too much privilege get away.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I hate to say
there's anything that makes this country really, the heart of this country, rebel, it's seeing that happen, and that's happening everywhere you look.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I would like to believe in that. I personally believe in that, but we'll see what actually happens in reality. I think that the reality of the situation is, while we are all on the moral, though, if you take the moral high ground, which I agree with you on the moral high ground, I'm not saying that anything right happened. I'm not saying that anything good came of this. What I am saying is that because it's already a billionaire's boy club of owners who want to protect themselves and who don't mind circumventing the salary cap because money to them is no object. It's not about the money. It's about the rules. And it's only if you get caught breaking the rules. And that is the crux of this whole debate. Did Ballmer break any actual NBA rules?
Now, here's the bigger crux, I think.
I don't know that we can answer that question.
You can look at the 30 owners, and you can see a difference between 29 of them and one. Not only in their net worth, but in how they've acted so far. And it's gone too far. It's going to get swatted down. Wait and see.
You don't think there's hush-hush agreements between, like, the Knicks and Brunson, or like Milwaukee and Giannis? Do you think all of those are just on the complete up and up? Nobody's trying to push into the gray areas in any way, shape, or form to make sure that, I mean, what's changed?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, first off, I happen to think that in general, for most of the NBA agents and for most of the NBA superstars, they don't want to break the rules. Why break the rules? What they want to get the money that they're worth because it's a measurement of their success as a player.
Sure,
but they're not looking to. I don't believe that there's an Uncle Dennis in every one of these camps that goes and negotiates.
I'm not saying there's an Uncle Dennis in every one of those camps, but like the Ball family had the equivalent of an Uncle Dennis on running their stuff for a while. The only thing is,
I would say LeVar Ball falls in that same category of person that would.
And whoever that guy was that was advising their family that took a bunch of their money. The only thing is that he took their money And now we're talking about.
But I don't happen to think, like I don't think Giannis. I don't have a doubt that LeBron's contract. Why would LeBron fuck around with stuff like that? He's not going to do that, and I don't see Giannis doing that. I don't see. I don't see almost every player that they look out after. I'm sure out of 10 players, there's probably 3 or 4 who would probably look for advantages. I mean, all of us have our own level of integrity when it comes to things like this.
I agree. How
much will you cheat on your income taxes? Cheat a little bit, cheat a lot. It just comes down to making the measure. Who speeds in their car? I mean,
sure. No, listen. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. What I'm saying is that I think that
I don't happen to have such a negative view that I think what Kawhi has done is totally outside of the normal situation in the NBA in 95% of the situations.
I don't disagree with that. I think it's probably between 90 and 95%, and that's probably very true. I think that for the most part, especially if you're not a superstar, I mean, we're not talking about role players here. And YYC, I agree with you. I think that if the Clippers were forced to sell, Ballmer would rake it in. I think he would.
Why do you want to risk being a criminal to turn a $110 million contract into a $125 million contract?
Or $160 million in the case of Kawhi Leonard. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I think it really depends. I mean, you said something about like that because the NBA has like, if you get a max contract, that's what you're worth. I think the players don't believe that. I think because of how the BRI gets broken down, where it's 51%.
Some players don't believe that.
49%. No, I don't think. I don't think
more than 25% of the salary cap, or 30%.
Definitely, he's worth 30 to 40% of the modern salary cap.
I mean, what's Wembanyama worth right now? He's way. You talk about being
50% of 50, probably at least 100% of what he's making now. Whatever he's making right now, double it, and that's probably his worth.
And
I think that's true of Luka. I think it's true of Luka. I think it's true of Jokic. I think it's true of like a good 12 players. SGA, LeBron, maybe 15 players.
And out of those 15 players, I'll bet you there's only 2 or 3 of them that try any of the kind of shit that.
No, but you landed on something that I think is really important. Is that there is what the NBA has established a player's worth is, which is a very finite amount, and it's got a hard cap, and it makes the team, it penalizes the team if you try to go over it. And then there's the idea that the players, for some crazy reason, because they spend their entire time working on their game and going through the pressures of interviews and now social media and all this stuff, that the players actually believe, as do I, that they are worth more. I think that if you were to break up the BRI where it was 55% players, 45% owners, it would start to approach something fair. And if it was like 60-40, that would probably be fair. That, yeah, of course, a lot of people believe in the team.
Yeah, the owners ain't going to do that.
No, of course they're not going to do that. No, of course they're not going to do that. But this is the point of why I think some players, like a Kawhi Leonard, believe they're worth more. And now, in the case of Kawhi Leonard, you have to make the argument like, why do you think that? You can never play. You're never playing. You play the fewest games of any superstar in modern history, and somehow in your mind, you should be given all this extra money.
If he ends up getting a ring from somebody because of this.
Listen, he's a great player. He's a great player, and I don't. But he seems like a jerk. I thought the way he left San Antonio was lame. I thought, not resigning with Toronto was lame. If I were him, I would have been like, "What's Toronto back, man? Like, we just won the championship." But he didn't. He went and found the most money he could find. And
the people with this company that he got the phony contract with and so forth, they actually started to put together a program, after complaining that they signed up Kawhi Leonard and they didn't feel fit the mold of the people that they were trying to have represent the company. They tried to put together a program for, how they could utilize him. And they finally decided that he just doesn't fit what we're trying to sell. He just doesn't. He's not a personable guy that you.
But I think digital banking. I don't think Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. At any rate, I mean,
Kawhi Leonard, digital banking guru. No, I don't think that. That's not the first thought that comes to my mind. The first thought that comes to my mind is, hey, he's kind of a dick. It seems like, but whatever. He's great. He's great at basketball.
Is probably the most accurate description you could probably put on him.
Thanks, Tom.
Great player,
All right.
but it's work.
All right, so we've been going on for a while. It's coming up on an hour. I don't want to. I swear I won't leave the show without 3 or 4 trades, Tom. So we're getting to that in a minute. The last thing I wanted to talk about.
Well, Andrew Wiggins is what the final discussion should be, because that's the whole thing. Are the Lakers going to land Andrew Wiggins or not?
I don't think the Heat are going to make him available to the trading deadline at the best. And honestly, they'll get more from next season. So why not just wait?
Because NBA teams like to win. NBA teams like to have a plan. NBA
Sure.
teams don't like to spend $60 million.
Do you think any? Let me ask you a question. Let me put it to you this way. Do you think any of the Wiggins trades that you've either posted from other people or come up with yourself actually make the Miami Heat better, or at least competitive in the East?
I don't think that's the point with Miami at this juncture.
I completely disagree.
Miami has to do something for the future.
I completely disagree. Miami's like Indiana. They don't rebuild. They just tweak. They retool.
Right.
And listen, they would still have.
How do you retool? How do you retool?
They would still have Jimmy Butler. They would still have Jimmy Butler right now. They would still have Jimmy Butler right now if he hadn't flipped out about whatever he flipped out about, which I think really came down to him wanting to spend time.
Andrew Wiggins is going to be traded, before the dead trade deadline. For sure, he'll be traded. And if the offer is good, he'll be traded this summer. They're not going to keep him. He's not part of their future plans under any stretch of the imagination.
I think there's 2 futures with the teams like the Heat and the Pacers. There's what we're doing right now and what we'd like to see happening over the next 3 to 4 years. And so somebody made a good point, because, and I wonder, again, this ties back to what we're talking about, like side deals of money, but so many superstars just re-up with the same team. That's a trend that has changed a lot in the last, I'd say 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, somewhere in there. What used to be free agency bonanza. Giannis is going to be a free agent. Jimmy Butler's going to be a free agent. Jokic is going to be, all these names are going to be free agents. No, we're re-upping.
Well, they just changed their strategy. The strategy now is get your big contract and then ask to be traded. Don't ask to be traded when you're up for a contract.
But in a way,
else, you have to get the money first to get your bag and then trade.
I think that's probably true to some point, but I also think that the rules make it better for the incumbent team to keep the player. You can offer them an extra year. You can offer them a little bit more money per year. And so, hey, like you said, we all like money. Everybody likes money. Let's not pretend we don't. Everybody loves money. It's fine. I don't like the idea of money, but I love having money. But what's changed is that now a team like the Heat, that once that started, didn't have that guy. They didn't have a LeBron. They didn't have a Durant. They didn't have a Booker. They don't have, Tyler Hero is as close as it gets. And let's be honest, Tyler Hero is about as good as Austin Reeves. They're about the same player. I'd even say Hero might be a little better.
They pretty much are the same player.
But they're about the same guy. They're 6'6", shoot pretty well, could make a play here or there, but you don't want them to be your point guard because they're not quite that good. This is what I say, YYC, and this is why what happened. If you can get Wiggins without giving up Rui, it's a win-win. It's not a win-win. It's a Lakers win, clearly, because then you're talking about Miami getting Vincent, Kleber, Connect, and our 1 first-round pick that we.
Yeah, but the reason that they want it,
it's not happening.
If you want to keep Rui, then the only way you can make a deal is you have to have a second player coming in from them, because you need to be able to. You can't.
The only way I think you could do it is if you did a 3-team trade. If you got Brooklyn to trade, Miami,
you get them. What you have to do is you have to basically say you give them the first-round pick, but you got to take Vando's contract. We'll give you the first-round pick, but you got to take the 3 years of Vando.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
Then you don't get the first-round pick, or we'll put a lot of protection.
You don't get
first-round pick unprotected to lure them to try to do that.
What I love is that somehow you think you have the upper hand in this negotiation when they have the player you want and can just say, no.
When that's because you're only looking at it from a negative standpoint.
No, it's not a negative standpoint. That's the reality. What you're saying that somehow we have the upper hand.
You have most analysts right now.
And 3 garbage players, and the player we want, they control and can just say, nah, we're keeping him.
Yeah, you always look at what everybody else thinks and thinks that's that. Here's what the reality is. If you ask anybody who's looking at Miami, ask any analyst who's looking at Miami what their goal is going to be. Their goal is going to be to get rid of $60 million worth of player who's not going to help them get where they want to go. And they're going to trade him before the trade deadline. And they'll trade him this summer if the offer is right.
This summer, definitely.
He is not part of a plan for Miami going forward. They're going forward with Bam. They're going forward with the guard that they got from Sacramento. Those are the guys that they're keeping.
You think that now, but listen, I think Wiggins fits in great with what they do. I think that he is a perfect Heat culture guy. I think that he is not an alpha, which is what they're still looking for. And I don't think they're gonna trade Wiggins for anybody but
culture. He was just the best they could get for Jimmy.
That might be true. But I do think that with his length, the only thing lacking is that something happened to him 2 years ago. I don't follow the Golden State Warriors that closely. Whatever happened to him
anyway. He sometimes doesn't want to play.
No, he's like AD a little bit.
He's not a guy who's basketball's everything for him,
I would agree with that. Well, and something happened in his personal life. Hassan Clay says, "Hey Tom, do you know Hassan Clay personally, or is it just somebody who thinks you're cool?"
What?
Hassan Clay just said, "Hey Tom, do you know Hassan Clay personally, or does he just think you're cool?" Must just think you're cool. You don't know Hassan Clay, I'm assuming. Somebody on
Hassan Clay.
That's all good. Hassan, welcome to the show. Anyway, my point is this: is that because Miami controls the player, in theory, the Lakers want. I don't even know if that can actually be confirmed. All we get are these Lakers insider. I'm like, yeah. So the janitor said.
Well, you got Dan White.
Janitor said.
There's three different people now who come out and said that they're actually in negotiations.
Yeah, Mark Stein, Lakers insider,
Don Wakey, and the guy from.
But even that, you keep forgetting that all of those guys said the same thing. If the Heat were to make Wiggins available, not Wiggins is available.
No, they said is we want a first round draft.
It's a big word with only two first
round draft choice.
I know, but listen, if all of these sources that people keep quoting say the same thing, if that means he's not available. It's not that they're shopping him; it's that there's a giant if in front of him. Now I get it.
Let's forget about Andrew Wiggins because they said he's not available.
I agree.
Okay.
I don't particularly want Wiggins on the
team. Cross him off our phone list. Cross him off our big list there. Okay?
All right, next guy on your list.
This is Jamie's method here. The sweet method for how you screw up your negotiations by always going after the wrong people just because some team doesn't say the right people are available.
I don't know that
you make them available. If you're a good negotiator and these are the right people you want, you go and you get them. You notice every time the Warriors say that they're interested in somebody, it's not some doke C player from some dipshit team. It's a star on another team.
Same with the
Lakers.
Lakers.
Look at every single player that the Lakers are trying to get, and you are always taking the attitude that, oh, no, he's not available. They're not going to let him go. He's not available. We don't have enough to get him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How the hell did we get Luka Doncic?
We gave up an elite two-way player.
We gave up
an elite two-way player.
We gave up nothing for him compared to what we got. We should have given up another draft pick. We should have given up Austin Reeves.
Sure. No, not Reeves. Maybe a draft pick or two or pick swaps. I agree with that. I don't think Nico Harris did himself any favors, and I think that we won.
Well, by your definition, we never should have got that trade.
No, I was surprised we did. I was surprised. I would have said that at the beginning of the season, and I would have said it right.
Never in a million years would the Lakers sell.
Would you have made that deal, Tom? Would you have made that deal for Luka?
Would I have made that deal for Luka?
If you were Nico Harris?
No, but I'll tell you what, I understand what Nico is trying to do, and I actually kind of like it. And
if I didn't know AD better, I would like it.
If I also knew the league was going to turn around and give me the number one pick, I might have taken that deal. I think they come out of it better than with Luka.
I don't think so. I think that a lot of people are throwing.
I think AD, if you gave me a choice of AD and Flag right now over Luka,
Yeah.
I take it.
But that's not what the trade.
Well, I don't know. We're talking now, looking backwards.
You're just making things up now.
It doesn't matter, Jamie. Come on.
No, but it does, because we're trying to talk about what's really happening, and you're like, if you were to like give this imaginary trade,
I wouldn't have made the trade.
They didn't use a Lakers pick to draft Flag, man. Come on.
I wouldn't have traded.
What are you even saying right now?
I wouldn't have traded him, but if I had known that the league was going to do that, I might have pulled the trigger. I think they came out ahead. If you put the two things together, I'd rather have. We're not talking about two things. And Anthony Davis.
The only reason the Mavericks are in a position to draft number one was because Kyrie Irving blew out his Achilles.
I know.
So, you're just sort of whoop on that.
And they made a last-minute decision to take a couple of games late in the year.
Just tanked, and that's right. And once they saw
that for the 1.3% chance.
Well, and then AD had his stomach, his like, oh god, my stomach, something got hurt on me. I don't even know what it is. It could be any number of things. I should probably sit out for 4 years. Listen, I'm not trying to be aggressive, but you're really making a completely false equivalency here. There's no way these two things are connected, and I completely disagree with your scenario because it's just ludicrous. If you were to say these two unrelated events could happen and I would get this magical accomplishment, then I think we'd all say yes. But that's not what happened.
Well, you're asking. It's just as silly as asking.
No.
You're asking an 80-year-old retired Laker fan if he would have made the trade. Well,
not the trade.
With stupid question, you're going to get a stupid answer.
That's not a stupid answer. I asked you if you would make the trade Nico Harrison made. The trade already went down.
And I said no, I wouldn't make the trade.
That's the answer then. Not this whole.
But I would have seriously considered it. And if I'd known that we would have got Cooper Flag, I would have definitely done it.
No, but they didn't know they were going to get Cooper Flag. So that's not how the trade worked. The trade didn't work that way. The trade worked in the vacuum.
Ideally, the smart thing would have been for them to keep Luka and draft Cooper Flag.
They couldn't have done that.
Sure, they could have.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't have, because at the time Luka went down. Oh God, I can't with some of it. Anyway, all right.
They still could have drafted. They still could have drafted.
You think that they would have tanked with Luka? They wouldn't have tanked with Luka. Not when he's coming back from an injury. Not when he's up for an extension. No.
Well, no. And
we'll never know.
They got AD, and they had all these problems. And
I think a lot of people. What I take away from all of that, not just from you, but from everybody, is that nobody values defense the way I feel it should be valued in the NBA. Because I actually think Anthony Davis is after Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's the elite two-way player in the NBA.
It's I one and two. With you, and I think Nico Harrison had a vision of all of those bigs that he was going to put together.
And we'll see how that vision works out. We'll see how that
vision. I like that vision a lot.
We might like it. You and I both know AD has a predilection for somehow getting mysteriously hurt. I think the Mavericks are going to be a top 5 team next year. Yes,
I find when I see them being picked for 11th and 12th and stuff like that, that just shocks me. I mean, I know Kyrie's may not even make it back. But
I would be surprised if he played it all next season. But the fact that they have AD, the fact that they have enough, this is the thing. AD should be very motivated to prove everybody that the trade was not lost.
He should be just as motivated as Luka.
He should be just as motivated as Luka. Yep. And AD with a decent team around him is good enough for 6th to 5th in the NBA, I feel like.
And he gets to play power forward.
And this is what I'm saying. And he's a happy camper.
And he loved to rub that into the Lakers.
He'll rub it into the Lakers. So every time they beat us, he'll be like, "Yeah, it's great that I'm at my natural spot. I get to play my best spot, my best position. It's my best position."
That's one thing that really irritated me about Jeannie coming out and saying, "Well, AD didn't want to play in the right spot."
She's right. She's right. He's crazy. Center is his best position by far.
The only time he won a championship with the Lakers, what did he play?
Power
forward. 48 minutes a game.
Until the playoffs, when he was an elite center. Anyway, we're not going to go back on all that. Here's the thing. You said there was another trade you were thinking about that I would It'd be impossible for me to disagree with some. There's 3 guys that I would love to see us trade for. I doubt they're the same 3 guys, but let's hear your next trade, and then I'll go through my list.
3 guys that are Andrew Wiggins is my first choice.
Oy.
And my second choice is probably, I'd like to see him try to get some of the guys from the Kings. I'd like him to get Ellison Murphy. I'd give him Austin Rivers.
Malik Monk is at the top of my list.
Doesn't play defense.
I don't want him to play defense. What you need is somebody to score off the bench. We got nobody who can. He's not going to be on the bench, dude. I don't know why you continue with this fantasy of yours. Talk about living in a fantasy.
Everybody else to get. We're going to keep Rui. We keep Rui in Austin.
We're going to keep Rui till the trade. No. So this is what I think. I think everybody's going to. I know you would very much like to see a trade happen in the summer. Nobody's trading Wiggins in the summer. I don't even think the Lakers want to trade Rui in the summer. I think that there's not going to be a trade before the season starts. And once the season starts, there's
is that a replay or is that new?
That's not. That's
will not be a trade.
That's because I'm right, and I'm going to be right. And you're going to be like, "Oh, well, you're right because you picked, I don't know, the right thing." I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm sorry, I'm right.
You're doing nothing, which is what you always pick. You're a do-nothing guy, man.
Also not true. But keep saying that if it makes you happy.
Well, you never pick for a trade or anything.
I would like to see the Lakers get either Malik Monk. These are all expiring guys, by the way. These are guys who
do an expiring contract because it do us no good. Next draft day, we have potentially 3 draft picks. If we're going to keep those 3 draft picks,
I disagree.
We need to have contracts to trade.
That's what you have on draft day. You seem to ignore this. All the contracts that we have in season will be available for trade on draft day. When we'll have 3 first-round picks.
They'll be available for sign and trade.
Is that not the same?
That is not the same. Totally not the same because you need that player's permission. He has to agree to go to that team for that amount of money. And the team has to agree to pay him that amount of money.
I think there's a good chance that guys like Rui and guys like, should it come down to it, Reeves, will work with the Lakers on such a scenario. Because the Lakers have done right by them to the degree that they're willing to do right by them. And when it comes down to, well, I'd like $5 million more.
It's criminal front office management to go into a season when you've got a bunch of draft capital and you cannot match salaries to trade. That is the stupidest move that any general manager could make, and Rob Pelinka's not going to make that.
I think you'll be pleasantly disappointed.
Why do you think that they suddenly announced that they want to have contracts that last to next year?
They didn't announce that. No. They didn't announce that.
And all of a sudden is a.
They didn't announce that.
They want that.
You're making that up. You're making that up. They didn't announce that. There wasn't a press release from the Lakers or anything like that. There was people
a sudden different change in the whole attitude of the Lakers on taking them contracts over a year.
They didn't say that.
A month ago, the position was we were not going to take on any new contracts.
Tom, find me the quote. Find me the quote from anybody who's an actual Laker person.
If you goddamn would read the articles instead of just making a.
I do read the articles, and it's always Laker Insider.
Because I've documented it another time.
Unnamed Laker Insider says this, that, or the other thing. Jovan Buha, who's never right, says this because he's got nothing to do right now. He's got nothing to do.
Mark Stein, Don Weinke.
Mark Stein hasn't been involved in an NBA. He just has a newsletter. That's it. He's not part of a show.
Well, I'd rather listen to him than any dribble coming from an uneducated guess from somebody who doesn't even follow anybody on social media. Never makes a prediction and basically is satisfied all the time with the Lakers doing absolutely F nothing.
All untrue, but okay, you can say that if you want.
I said it. I mean it. I know.
You've said it a lot, and it doesn't make it any more true than the first time you said it.
It's so irritating, man. I mean,
that's all right. I don't mind being irritating. Doesn't bother me much.
Okay, there's gonna be no trades.
Because that's not
no trades, and
okay,
the Clippers and Kawhi are gonna get off easy, and
they are. It's gonna be disappointing. I'll be bummed about it, but that's how it's gonna go, man. I'm not gonna be happy about it. I'm not saying I like any of these things. I'm not saying these things make me happy. I'm not saying that this is what I actually want. But what I am saying is that this is what will happen. And those are two very different. You are always saying, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. And that's great. But that doesn't mean it's real. I wanted a fucking Millennium Falcon to fly to school and when I was 12 years old for Christmas. Did I get one? No.
I guess that really crushed your life, huh?
No, it just made me realize that what you want isn't what you're going to get. And that's just life, bro. Like, I'm not trying to say that you can't want things. We all want things.
No, but you don't have anything
ask me to make a prediction
about the Lakers.
I'm going to make a prediction
negative, man.
It's happen.
The negativity just drives me crazy.
I'm not going to make a prediction that I don't think is going to happen.
I don't think positive in order to balance your horrible negativity.
I am positive. I'm positive what you think is not going to happen.
Right. You're so goddamn negative all the time. You expect the Lakers
I'm 100% sure.
Bomb all the time, man.
Not trade for Andrew Wiggins this summer. There will be zero Andrew Wiggins trade this summer. I will say it right now.
You can suck it up. You can suck it up and apologize when the trade happens.
I won't. If it happens,
summer or before the trade deadline.
If it happens, of course. But you know what? Remember
when you celebrate it if it happens?
No, I don't think.
No, you'll probably say, "Oh, I don't think we could have trade. We gave us all these good guys for it."
No, I think for our team, Rui Hachimura is a better fit.
Oh God, you're the only person in the Laker universe who thinks that.
That's because I guess I'm smarter than everybody else in the universe, according to you. I don't know. I didn't say that. That's you. Listen, Tom, let me ask you this: what role do you think Wiggins would have on the Lakers on offense?
On offense, 3-point shooter. Spot-up shooter.
At 35%?
Yeah.
Well, you might as well just, grab anybody. Might as well grab anybody.
It doesn't matter. You put him out there at the 3-point line.
You'd rather have Wiggins 35% than Rui's 40.3%.
Yeah, because I know that Rui's not going to give me any assists. He's not going to do any defense. He's going to get blown by
Wiggins 4 or 5 times a game. Wiggins isn't going to have the ball in his hands. Wiggins is never going to have what? Okay, sure. All right.
Let's say Wiggins is an elite defender, man. Rui is an average defender.
Yes, that is true.
Rui is an average defender. Strength is defending power forwards. We have been playing small forward. We need a small forward.
Wiggins is an above average defender at best, and he's been slipping year after year after year for the last 3 years.
The stats from him.
You can disagree with that if you want, but all you have to do is go look at stats, and you'll see
there's 2 or 3 stat people out there, including that basically have said that his defense has held up very strongly. Same thing with Marcus Smart. That his defense last year when he played was excellent.
I hope that's true. I hope that's true because that makes it better for the Lakers that we have Marcus Smart. I don't necessarily think that's true in reality. I get it. Like you can make an argument that. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can make an argument. You can make an argument that Marcus Smart, when he played for Memphis, had an elite backline defender, and that Wiggins, when he was on the Warriors, had the same and has the same now with the Heat, which makes me think that for an elite defender on the perimeter to be functional, they needed an elite defender in the paint to back them up, which I think is actually true. I think the Lakers were at their best when they had KCP, ball hawking, and AD on the back line, or even better, AD and Dwight Howard on the back line controlling the paint. That's when the Lakers defense was pretty stellar. And you had Kuzma trying, you had LeBron trying, you had Danny Green when he was available and trying. He was pretty old by that point and had lost a lot of his speed and lateral movement, which I think is what's happening to Wiggins and Smart, to be honest. But, I'll be happy to be wrong on that. I'll be happy we have Smart now, so I'm hoping.
I don't disagree with you that the strength of the front court is where you anchor a defense.
It has to be.
You can't anchor it in the backcourt.
You can't anchor it in the backcourt. You can funnel guys in the right direction so that your big man has a chance.
Funnel is a way of funnel is just a way of controlling the guy who's beating you off the dribble.
They're going to beat. Listen, it's the NBA. They're going to beat you off the dribble.
You're going to get beaten off the dribble.
You're going to get beaten off the dribble.
That's where to funnel them.
I think we'll both agree with that the NBA is good enough offensively. I don't care how great a defender you are. You're going to get beat off the dribble.
The whole thing about having a front court that can defend the rim and defend the paint is everything that Nico Harrison is trying to do. That's his whole purpose of getting AD.
I would agree with that.
Add to that, and I love that whole thing he's done there. I think he got enamored with that idea enough that he allowed erosions into what Luka is really valuable as. So that he ended up making a trade.
100%. And listen, I think you have to take into account.
But his thought process, I think, considering where the league is right now, and you look at the teams and the front courts that teams have, what you're seeing in a couple of other places, like what the Knicks have done, what Minnesota is doing here. This two bigs is what Houston's doing. This two bigs thing is going to be something the Lakers have got to address. It's not just starting small forward. That backup center spot is really important. We need somebody who can really protect the rim there.
Well, I mean, Hayes has got a long ways to go in that depend. I don't think he's going to get there. I don't think he's got the timing, unfortunately. I
don't think Hayes or Koloko is the answer for that.
None of the two ways. None of the two. I do think between him and Rui, he's better, but LeBron would have to play more power forward. Rui's bigger and more of a traditional four. 805 also said he wouldn't give up a first-round pick for Wiggins. The deal's not happening without the one first-round pick we can trade.
They're going to give up the first-round pick.
They're not. They're going to keep it for the summer.
No, they are. The reason they are is because
it's a summer pick. It's for the summer. It's for this. I know you don't agree with this.
Huge benefit to making the trade off season versus.
I agree. I'm not going to disagree with that.
Secondly, if you take and trade for Wiggins and put him next to Luka, by next season when draft day comes, he will be worth more than just one draft pick.
No, he won't.
He will be worth more than one draft pick.
He'll be coming up on 32. Depending on how he played, bring him Ben Simmons as a backup.
Depending on how he plays is the key thing.
I hate to say it.
The Lakers, he will be worth more than that draft pick is worth.
I hate to say it, but this is another thing I'm right about YYC is 3 years ago I predicted that when this Ben Simmons contract ended, it would be his last NBA contract, and that's exactly what it looks like. I don't think Ben Simmons is going to play in the NBA ever again. I think he'll probably he's done. He's done. I don't know.
He doesn't even have an agent now. He's acting as his own.
He's
agent.
just himself out there in the wild eating shrimp on the Barbie or whatever he's doing in Australia right now or wherever he's done. He's toast. He's not. The Knicks inquired. He doesn't want to play for the vet minimum. Nobody has any more than the vet minimum to offer him right now. He wants to play on a contender. He's being completely unrealistic about. I don't know if he doesn't understand the CBA. I don't know. I don't know Ben Simmons. I've never talked to the man. I couldn't tell you what's going through his mind. All I can tell you is that I believe him to be a toxic presence for any NBA team, and that's why he's been shuttled around. And you got to realize this guy was an all-star right up until he didn't shoot a layup. And after that layup, something broke and has never been fixed. I don't know if it's physical. I don't know if it's mental. I don't know if it's a little bit of both. Ben Simmons has not been the same since the 2020-21 NBA playoffs when he didn't shoot a layup when he was wide open, and he has never been the same since, and I don't see it fixing itself. And I thought he played okay with the Clippers, but again, like he never took the ball to the hole. He did weird stuff with the basketball when he got close to the paint. And you can't play like that. You can't play like that and expect to get any more than you have a role. You can't be like, I don't know if I can shoot and expect to play. Like that's the goal of the game is to score. Put the ball in the bucket, man. Like, get your head around that somehow. I don't know. So YYC he's done. He's toast. He's never going to play in the NBA again. I'll be surprised if he does. And I'll say so live on air. I have no problem admitting my mistakes. They're few enough that it doesn't bother me that much. Anyway, let's not talk about Ben Simmons anymore. It's a waste of time. I don't know that the Lakers are going to address. Would you rather the Lakers get a better backup forward or a better backup small forward? Or a better point guard, because right now our
backup center is critical in my mind.
This is why I'm surprised you have so many eggs in the Wiggins basket. This is one of the things that is kind of mystifying to me. When you could be going out,
I don't. Luka Doncic is an interesting situation because here you've got a guy who's 26 years old,
entering his prime.
You give him the ball.
90% of the time.
95% of the time.
You'd be dumb not to.
Now, the question in my mind is then, if he's going to have the ball in his hands all of the time, you don't want another ball handling superstar.
That's why I don't want Wiggins.
It's got to be a center, basically. It's about the only thing that fits,
This is why when you just said, like, we're going to get all these assists from Wiggins, I was like, no, we're not. He's not going to have the ball. And that's, if you're talking about
my feeling is that the model, the championship blueprint for Luka Doncic, I think, is not to spend the money on a second superstar, but to spend the money on surrounding him with elite shooters and defenders.
Oh, you mean like maybe Rui Hachimura? He's not an elite defender. He's
Like
an elite Rui. He's an elite 3-point shooter. He's not a great defender. He's
not a great. They got to be a two-way player, though.
I think
I'm trying to keep Rui. I'm trying to keep Rui because
there's no way the deal gets done without Rui. You're not trading for Wiggins with Kleber or Vando.
You give him the pick. If it depends what the key is, the pick. If they want the pick, you have to offer a contrary in negotiations to the pick.
If it's just the pick that's the holdup, I'd be surprised if it's just the pick that's the holdup. I think the Heat would not even begin to consider talking about this if it wasn't Rui in the pick. And I think that's what's holding it up. I think the Lakers are smartly not.
Rui in the pick, I think eventually we'll give up Rui in the pick.
Maybe at the trading deadline. We'll see how it's working. That's what I mean.
I would think I am not even so sure that the Lakers, if the Heat came back and said we're going to wait till the trade deadline, or they aren't interested in trading right now, I think the Lakers could easily change directions. And I think the players that I like the Lakers going for, I mean, I could see him going for Brooks. Brooks, I think, would be a good fit also on the team.
Dylan Brooks?
Dylan Brooks. I know, you know.
Well, you got to look at teams.
Can you like it? He's an asshole, but he's our asshole. You know, that's Dylan Brooks.
I would trade Rui for Dylan Brooks. I prefer Rui as a human being, but I think Brooks is the better player.
Look, Rui is a wonderful human being.
He's a wonderful human being. He seems like a nice guy possible. I did not watch Canelo versus Crawford. I don't care about boxing or MMA
but you know, so I would say Brooks is be a target, and then I still like the idea of thinking of Sacramento that there's two guys I really like. I really love Ellis, and I like
Ellis. I think they look at him as a building block for the future. Unfortunately,
I know they better do. They better look at him that way.
Well, hey, it's Sacramento, man. It's Sacramento. Let's not give them too much credit.
That's the point, though. That there's always a chance in Sacramento, man.
Yeah, it's always that's what I love about Sacramento. Like, you got a pretty good guy there. I mean, he's not that good. He's not that great. Oh, really? You don't think so? Oh, no. There's better guys out there for you. You should. Right. We'll take that guy from you. We'll give you this other pretty good guy. He's pretty good.
Who's the last big guy they got rid of? How'd that work out?
Boogie Cousins, and he was amazing after that until he blew out his Achilles, and then I'll always feel bad for Boogie. I was always a huge Boogie. I love Boogie Cousins. I just loved everything about Boogie Cousins. His game, he could have been. He was Embiid before Embiid, and he just he was on shitty teams. Turkey up 72-66 in the goal.
So anyway, when you look at Luka though, and you look at who to surround him, I don't see taking these. I'd like these 3 draft picks, but I'd be going after Herb Jones or guys like that.
Herb Jones.
That's the kind of guys that I want to pull in. I'm looking at 3 teams. I'm looking at New Orleans, smart team to look at. I'm looking at Phoenix because I think they're going to implode, and I'm looking at Sacramento because I think they're going to implode. Everybody else, I think, is going to be good enough until the trading deadline that they're going to believe that they can sneak into a play-in spot. And Phoenix has probably deluded themselves into thinking somehow with just Booker, they're good enough to sneak into a play-in spot. Booker's not enough. I love Devin Booker. Devin Booker's got a great game. I wish he was a Laker. And maybe he can be once LeBron retires. I don't know. He might ask out of Phoenix at some point because I don't think he likes losing. I like all those guys that you mentioned. I like Hartenstein with Holmgren healthy. I don't know that there's the role for Hartenstein or the need for OKC to hold on to our. I know. That's a rough. No.
Well, but when it comes time to pay Lou Dort,
I like Kelly Olynyk. I like Kelly Olynyk a lot from.
I liked him more 2 years ago. He's like in the smart category for me, and that I liked all those guys more 2 or 3 years ago. I would like.
I watched him play quite a bit this year. He's going to the hoop now. He's really playing.
I like Kelly Olynyk very much.
He's the perfect type of player that is like your 8.
He's not a great defender. He's not a great defender though. He's not a good. He's more of a mid-range.
I mean, I would if we could get Wiggins, I would still. The other player is on my list is Robert Williams. I play him 20 minutes a game, man. But 10 of those could be the last 10 minutes of the game, and he can shut the rim down.
Time Lord's running out of time, man. He's He just does. He's not there.
Sometimes you got to risk. Sometimes you got to take the injury risk for the talent upside.
How often do you see that happen?
If you get enough defense surrounding the team, if we could get Wiggins, if we could land Wiggins.
How often do you see that happening in the NBA, Tom? How often do you see that happening where teams put a premium on injured talent?
Oh, I've seen it work a lot of times. The Celtics did it with Porzingis and with Holiday, and it played off with a championship.
Not the way Time Lord's hurt. Holiday would get hurt because no, Time Lord has all these weird now same injuries AD gets. My stomach is hurting.
Yeah, I know.
My so this little spot on my shoulder, I simply can't play at all. And it's like
Grant Hill went through like 6-7 years of that, and then
but his were real
7 or 8 years,
and he never signed for good money after that. He was always like a $10, $15 million guy. My point is,
if we could get him for a second rounder, he's on an expiring contract.
Is Time Lord expiring? Is Time Lord on an expiring contract this season? Yeah. Do you know?
Yes.
Then there's a chance we get him at the trading deadline, I guess. If someone's
to get him at a trading deadline, that would be the backup center I'd hope for.
I see. I think that's why he gets hurt. I think he should be playing power forward. Unlike AD, he should be a 3 or a 4. He's only 6'9", 6'10",
6'9".
6'9",
like
right?
7'3" wingspan, and
he's long, he's thick, so he can bang with it. But it's like, do you want that to be his role? I don't think he wants that to be his role. I think that's why he gets hurt. Is that a guy like
his role to be protect the rim? That's that simple.
We'll see.
At the rim.
All right, we should probably wrap it up. It's 12:30. I got to get on with my day. I got stuff to do. It's a Sunday. I still see Gerald there. I wonder if I should just bring him on to see if he wants to say hi. Probably not. Gerald, do you want to say hi? Can you hear me? Hey, there he is.
You rang.
All right, real quick, Gerald. You get the final vote. Wiggins trade before.
The farthest thing I've done in my entire life was do a Cosmos. Then you guys had your issues while I'm doing the Cosmos. And then you guys have been yelling in my head while I've been doing the Cosmos. So I was in the seventh layer of hell while I was doing my show.
This is not a normal rock and roll fight between Jamie and I.
It had to be on the day I had to help you guys because of the glitch earlier.
I did everything right. I don't know what went wrong here. I couldn't tell you if my life depended on it.
I'm just clicking the goddamn button, man. Give me the right button and I get it right.
Give
me a wrong button and I get it wrong.
But again, I'm trying to have an intelligent pop culture conversation with Josh Peterson upcoming for Monday's show.
We're having intelligent conversation.
And you guys are yelling in my head.
Okay, so do you think the Wiggins is going to get traded to the Lakers?
Tom, I actually went to the LakerTom dark side earlier this summer, and these guys have been knowing that I really wanted the Lakers to go all in. I really did this summer because Luka's prime is now, and you should never waste Luka's prime. But seeing how your Robbie, let's call him Robbie for this time, has been very. It's been very obvious what he's doing, LakerTom. He's trying. He wants his cake and eat it too. He's gotten 3 pretty good acquisitions: low risk, high potential reward,
with no draft capital.
Yeah, no draft capital.
One guys,
they're going to be incentivized. You're going to have 7 players incentivized to play their best because they want cash on the other side. They want their pot of gold at the end of the rainbow on the other side. That's the good thing for the Lakers, and that's why I think they'll have a really good regular season, is because you have all those players looking for money. The thing is, Rob did not want to go all in. He kind of he's like that person at the pool that's like, the water's too cold, but I'll just put my feet in a little bit. And
maybe we'll wait and the sun will come out a little more, and by the trade deadline, the water will be fine.
But you see what I'm saying, Tom? He didn't go all in this summer. So the Wiggins deal, I talked about it on the show with Joe. I'm not 100% in love with Wiggins.
No.
I said if you could put in Norman Powell, you've sold me. And the money works if you trade the pieces that you're talking about.
You sold me.
But if you trade the pieces that you're talking about, Tom, as far as what was in the Mark Stein rumor mill, if you trade those pieces, you maybe take away the one, but you give them Austin Reeves instead, but you get back Norman Powell and Wiggins. I I would be on board with that. I think if you add Wiggins and Powell, I would be on board with that. As
I'd
far
rather
as
have Jaquez. I'd rather have Jaquez than
well,
Powell.
Jaquez. Well, get this on the kicker, Jamie. In order to make that deal happen, Jaquez has to be thrown in there as well. His
Well, then
salary
fantastic. I'm all into that
because it
trade
means
too.
almost dollar for dollar at $52 million combined.
That's not a trade I've seen. That's not a trade I've seen floated out there. I'm not a Wiggins fan. I don't believe in Andrew Wiggins as a playoff
I did this after the show. We were talking about on the show, and again, somebody put on the chat. I forget. It might have been 805. I'm not sure who was on the chat that did it, and I apologize for forgetting. But they mentioned Norman Powell, so I looked at it in the trade machine. It can work if you trade Austin and those pieces, LakerTom, for Norman Powell and Andrew Wiggins. I think there you've got me. I'm just Andrew Wiggins. The fact that I think he's seen his best days in the finals. And that was the best you're going to see of Andrew Wiggins. But he was solid in Miami since the trade. He's solid. And you're getting him, he's going to be solid. I just don't know, for what you're paying is $30 million, do you want more than solid? That's the point I'm trying to make. But if you get him with Norman Powell, who's coming off his best season ever. Now, he is 32, but he's coming off his best season ever. And as a sharpshooter,
what's his contract?
Really helped out.
What's his
contract? He just signed. But somebody was saying in the chat as well that it might be available to trade now. So if that's the case, if it is tradable.
No, he just signed it this summer. Didn't he just sign it this summer?
He did sign it this summer.
I thought that meant he had a 6-month moratorium. Oh, no, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. That was a December, January type deal. But I guess he's able to. I would want to look at the CBA on that. I don't think that's true.
It's a weird rule, and there are some trades. There are some signings that basically don't kick that 6-month thing in.
But regardless, Tom, I think that the Lakers are going into training camp with this roster. But if they get close, if they're like in third, fourth, if they're somewhere between second and fourth in the Western Conference, they have to make a move. And the fact is, how much are you willing to pay Reeves? And how much are you willing to commit to Reeves? I don't want to commit to Reeves at $30 million plus. I really don't think it's a smart deal. So I would be open to getting Powell and Wiggins for Reeves and the stuff, especially if you can get out of the first round pick out of it. So that's.
Well, I like the guy. I like the two guys from Sacramento for Reeves.
So if you kept the first round. So you're saying Reeves
and the three.
It's Reeves and the filler. Well, also you would have to put in Jared Vanderbilt, which makes it sweeter. That's the best part of the deal for me, is getting rid of Jared Vanderbilt, because I know you're on Jared Vanderbilt Hill, Jamie.
You can trade Vanderbilt. There you go. You can trade Vanderbilt, Vincent, Kleber, and Connect,
and Lauren, baby,
for Jaquez and Wiggins.
But if you can get Powell along with that and trade Austin Reeves along with that package,
I would do that too, but I don't think the Lakers. I think the Lakers want to see. In fact, I think one of the reasons why there's an urgency now all of a sudden for the Lakers to try to do something before the season is they want to give Reeves an opportunity to show that he can really be worth it. And it's, he's going to be so much better if they had Wiggins in the lineup. It's a better opportunity for him to show that he can really.
But Tom, do you want
regular season play? The offense wasn't a juggernaut. When you'd think that you have Reeves, LeBron, and Luka, you expect more than a number 10 offense.
No, you're forgetting Ayton's on the team now, who's going to be much better than Hayes. Mm-hmm. You're forgetting that we have a better backup small forward than we had last year, and Laravia.
And the main thing is we have a training camp and preseason,
and like practice. 2 weeks
and practice. 2 weeks. Yeah, but that's so critical. You get one practice a month otherwise.
Yeah, I'll just say to finish my thing, I think it's a good option, Tom. I just think they're committed to not doing anything else going into training camp. I think that it is going to be what it is. I don't like it to be that way because I think there's serious issues on the roster, especially when it comes to depth, coming off a season where they had one of the worst benches in the league, period. And I think they should do things to improve upon it. And the Reeves issue, again, Reeves is great during the season, and their offense needs to be top 5 because their defense is not going to be great. Their offense
might be
needs
middle
to
of the pack at best.
If they get middle of the pack, everybody should be saying hallelujah. I'll
I
just
agree.
say that.
I agree. I would like to see it be like top 15.
But they should be top 5 in the offense.
Well, they were 14th. They were 14th in the league last year from February 1 on.
Well, I'm hoping it'll be that way again. We'll have to see what JJ does. And JJ is a question also going into this year as well after what happened. But with Reeves, are you concerned he's more of a regular season guy than a playoff guy? Because his flaws, as you know, have come out more in the playoffs because of his lack of defensive ability.
Well, he'll get targeted in the playoffs where he won't be targeted in the regular season because it's,
that's what I mean. I mean, does that concern you?
Yeah, and the problem is that as you narrow the competition in the playoffs and you move up higher, you get longer and better defenders, and that's the problem. And when you match him up against a long defender, they can give him trouble, and that affects him defensively too.
But do you want to commit multi-years at $35 million plus, possibly? I mean, his representative is going to be asking for close to $35-40 million for him on a yearly basis when he goes into free agency.
I think that the only thing
I'm not sure if they're going to get it, but I'm just saying he's going to be.
No, I think the only thing I think he'll give us a discount also, but I think I'd have to say right now I'm 50-50 because I think that if the Lakers would focus on only defensive players for the rest of their roster, they can Reeves can work in the starting lineup. I think if they got Wiggins and if Ayton really can be Ayton. And then they have the challenge of who's going to replace LeBron next year at power forward, but I could see that let me put it this way. It's not an ideal situation to have a Reeves with next to Luka in the backcourt. That's not ideal, but there are scenarios where it could work. And one of the scenarios would be, I think, is Wiggins. And I think that's the Lakers. One of the reasons for trying to get things, I think one of the changes of opinions, because Luka's doing so well, is that we need to give Reeves a chance to show what he can do early because we need to make reactions. We don't want to wait to the deadline to make the trade and then figure out what's going on because we may have other needs at the deadline. We have needs for a backup center that might become important.
Those expirings, though, become more valuable, as you know, to teams.
That's true. But also
expectations during the
season.
They become more valuable at the trade deadline.
Yeah, but if you're looking at 3 draft picks on next draft day, you have to have tradable contracts. And you're not going to trade LeBron. LeBron's gone. Luka, you're not going to trade him. And you don't even have $30 million worth of other contracts to trade right now. We need to sign. The reason you need Wiggins is so you got a $30 million contract, which is half of the contract of Giannis if you got a chance to get him. But you can't go into summer of 2026. You cannot go into that summer with 3 draft picks and not have enough tradable salary. You cannot count on signing trades to pull you to be able to save you at that situation. That is foolish. No general manager is going to do that. The Lakers, that is why the Lakers all of a sudden are interested in contracts that go through 27. That's why they were hesitant before when they wanted to clear space because of that $30 million player option that Wiggins has. He's going to pick that player option up.
Oh, you know it. He's going to be.
He's not going to get $30,000.
I give that a 70-80%.
So that's a 2-year deal. They need that 2-year. They need a player like that to be able to trade when they get those 3 draft picks. That's their dilemma right now. That's why everything changed.
Again, I want them to go all in, Tom.
Yeah, I do too.
I just don't. I don't think Robbie
now in the summertime.
I don't think Robbie's going to do it. I just don't think Robbie's going to do it right away. He's going to wait and see how this team progresses, and he's going to wait until close.
The one difference. There's 2 differences. 2 differences. Luka Doncic is now under contract, and the owner is known to be different.
Well, he's not the owner yet, but yes.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, but he knows that there's a point in time where he's showing now what he can do. So if he continues to, if he fails,
Mark Williams' money isn't nearly as valuable as it is in Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball, you'd be like,
no, that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is a guy who's willing to make big deals.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll make an aspiration deal for. I'm just kidding. You know, I'm kidding there. I'm just kidding there. I'm just pushing buttons. And I apologize.
You do that all the time.
You've been pushing buttons the whole time. I've been hearing the whole thing in my headset.
No, I disagree with that vehemently. I take umbrage to that, sir. Because I have a differing opinion does not mean I am pushing buttons. Those are two separate things.
Of this, I know when it comes to Laker Tom, you can just say the sky is blue and it'll go off on you.
Well, that might be true. Listen, all I'm saying is that
it is blue. It looks pretty blue up there.
Okay,
it is today. I mean, we're in two different places, so it could be true on both counts. It might be gray down here and blue up there. It just so happens it's both blue.
It's always gray down there.
Where's the Coke, Tom? Where's the Coke? I know I will get asked on
Where's the
Coke.
The Coke is...
Trust me, Jamie. You don't see my
audience. Are we all auditioning for a Miami Vice? Oh, that Coke. I see. I'm so sorry. I had something else in mind.
Kurt Affair will be happy now because he'll ask me, did Tom have the Coke? Did Tom have the Coke? Where's the Coke? Where's the Coke? So there you go. Sorry.
Anyway, this is my thing. And listen, one of the great things about shows like this is that people are allowed to disagree and we're mostly cordial to one another.
I don't want Tom to die on the air. I don't want every time he got mad with me, I just don't want him dying on the air.
No, he's got a bionic heart now. That's not what's gonna fail. It's something else.
I don't have a bionic heart.
Well, I've got a ICD.
Okay.
Oh, is that does that get launched when the missiles get launched? Is that what happens?
It means that if my heart stops, it gives me a defibrillator is built in.
Yeah, that's right.
It gives me a shock.
You got a robot.
I haven't had it happen.
God, I would hate for that to
be getting kicked in the chest.
Yeah, that sounds negative fun. I don't like getting kicked in the chest.
That would not make for great YouTube. I'll just say that.
Tom always wants me to get on board with these fantastical situations that may or may not happen. And I can't help but be logical and see the flaws in them, and that there's another team that you're negotiating.
I just think Robbie won't do it. I just don't.
And then Rob Pelinka and his general inadequacies as a general manager. I've never been a fan of Rob Pelinka as a general manager.
I think if it gets close to the trade deadline and the Lakers are in the top 3 in the West, I think he has no choice but to make moves that are now based.
Or Mark Walter is going to fire him down the road.
I don't know. Well, I mean, that might happen. One can only hope.
But I thought Jeannie was going to be governor for 5 years.
I wouldn't believe that. I wouldn't believe all those stories. We saw what happened with Mark Cuban.
So what stories do you believe and don't believe based on what merit?
The Boston thing, what happened in Boston has me set that there's probably going to be a changeover sooner rather than later.
I think it depends
on what I heard is that Jeannie wanted to make sure that all of the employees would get their contracts honored completely. That in the entire organization, everybody would get their contracts to the end of the contract so that there would be no employees who would be left out. Nobody.
I don't know if it's practical.
Including her brothers, including
Robbie. Mark Walter didn't spend $5 billion. To not be able to say, I have the final decision on everything, period.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
We'll see how that works out. That'll be interesting once it becomes reality. It's not reality yet, so it's kind of just like wow noise to me.
But you get an extension, and you get an extension, and you get an extension.
That's what happened last summer with the Lakers. I was like, all these people are getting extensions. That's how you knew they were already in negotiations to get this done. Or
you have to give Jeannie credit. One of the things that we're missing here is back in 2021, she made a decision where she gave him first option to buy the Lakers if they ever decided to sell.
That's true.
Now he was the owner of the Dodgers at that point in time, one of the owners of the Dodgers, but they had not had the kind of success that they've had recently.
No.
So it's not like she was jumping on a bandwagon, and saying, I found the guy who's going to be the right owner for the Lakers eventually. Based upon just on the headlines and so forth, she basically chose a guy who's since then since 21 has proven that he deserves a chance at running the Lakers. That's something that I got, I've jumped on Jeannie for a million different things. And frankly, she's still a woman who doesn't understand basketball. It's like my wife running the Lakers. Frankly,
don't tell Mrs. LakerTom that.
No, I'm telling you the truth. My wife is a very smart woman. She was a CFO for a $20 million financial company. And she understands the game of basketball and so forth, and she roots for the Lakers and everything, but there's just, you know what I'm talking about? There's just some women get it, some men get it, some men don't get it.
I actually don't. I think she's as good an NBA owner as there could be in terms of where she came from.
Yeah,
everybody comes into this. Everybody comes into this
growing up in the game, then she doesn't really play.
She grew up. She's like an old head about it. You know what I mean? Like she grew up in the era. She saw success with Magic. She saw success with Kareem. The game has moved away from that, and that's, you could argue that the Lakers have been slower to embrace it than maybe some people would want them to, but there's a reason for that. It's because their legacy is built on the old school game. And so I can understand, it's hard for Ford to embrace electric cars. Does that make Ford terrible at making cars? They are, but that's beside the point,
No, but the point is,
your legacy is built on something. It's harder to just throw it all away and say, who cares about the legacy?
You're the guy who just says nothing ever changes. You better wake up, because
Tom,
it's going to be different.
I dare you to go back. Yeah, please go back and find me saying that ever. Find me saying that.
They're not going to be the same team 5 years from now.
Stop putting words in my mouth. It's rude and unnecessary. You're smarter.
What do you think? What do you think the Lakers are going to continue to do the same thing? Do you think
when have I ever said that? When have I ever said that?
I'm asking you that.
No, I've never said that. I don't agree with that. Again, you
think that
words into my mouth.
You just said a few minutes ago that there's nothing going to change with Mark Walter as the owner of the Lakers.
That's not what I said. That is not what I said.
Correct me then. What did you say?
I will be happy to correct you. His money will have no influence on the amount of players or the quality of players we can sign because there's a cap. Where his money will influence us is if he makes an aspiration type deal with a player, or if he buys them a new trading facility, or gives them a private plane, or things like that, where they don't have to even deal with airlines. Why not? Why can't he?
He's going to violate the rules.
It's against the rules for an NBA team to own its own plane. Are you sure about that, Tom? Before you go off blathering away about bullshit?
You're going to say that we're going to be able to give him more things than we used to be able to give players?
That's right. In terms of within the organization, a new training center is a new thing, a whole new revamped coaching staff.
I think you're missing the major thing is not that there's more money. It's that we're going to have somebody in charge who really wants to build a championship and is willing
I think Jeannie Buss
every
really
level
wants
to do that.
No,
whereas the Lakers ran. Do you expect the Lakers to continue to run as a mom and pop business?
I think you're confusing two things. I think that the cap is the cap. I don't think we're going to go blasting past the cap to re-sign our. Okay, then we agree right? So
we're going to hire 10 more scouts.
You've done it for like 5 minutes, and let me
front office people. We're going to hire 10 more analysts. We're going to have people watching every player in the league.
Yes, that's not the team.
We're going to make better decisions. We're going to have
the organization, not the team. Okay. I don't know where the confusion is here, but evidently Tom is confused with what I'm saying, or simply not listening, which I think is
I'm what I'm saying is
no, you're not. You're not listening. You're just going like this.
You're still hanging on to the idea that the Lakers are still going to be the Lakers.
That's not. I've not said that either. These are all things you're creating in your mind, like your weird Cooper Flag AD trade that couldn't have possibly existed in any realm of reality. Like when that came out of your mouth, I was like, this is the most ludicrous thing I think I've ever heard you say in your entire life. And that's a lot. That's a lot of absurdity that I'm putting that above, because there's no way the Lakers could have traded.
You don't think you're not optimistic that the Lakers are going to be better because of Mark?
It's not optimism, it's reality. Listen.
Well, wait, I'm asking you, are you optimistic that the Lakers are going to be better because of the new ownership?
I think that depends on the choices they're going to make in terms of the players they sign. But I will say this. Listen. You're somehow making. Listen, do you give Mark Williams all the credit for what's happened with the Dodgers?
Mark Williams?
Yeah. Does he get all the credit for all the great success the Dodgers have had?
Mark Walter.
Oh, sorry, Mark Walters. I always say Williams for some reason. I don't know why.
No, I think most of the success is.
Oh my God! So there's my point right there. You literally just made it. No, is the answer that I got. Time out.
You didn't even let
I'm
me answer the question.
I'm not going to let you answer the question because I haven't been able to answer my own question for the last 5 minutes. I'm going to mute you for 5 seconds. Your point is this, is that somehow Mark Williams is going to be responsible for all these amazing changes within the Lakers because he's a business genius. No, time out. Let me finish. I'm just going to finish this point, and then I'll let you happily blather on for as long as you want to, even though I've got to go shopping. I got a bunch of other stuff I was about to get to, but I'm going to finish this because I think it's worth the time. He will make improvements around the Laker organization. The organization is not the team. The team is a part of the organization. The focus of the organization is to build the best team. In order to do that, they are going to pay the best analysts. They are going to pay the best scouts. They are going to hopefully get a better coach than JJ Redick. They are going to invest in things like a new training facility and a private fucking plane if they can. Whatever it is that he can spend money on that isn't players, money will be spent on. And that is the only thing that's going to change. And now I'm done. Feel free to say whatever you want.
And so what is your opinion? Do you think that those things
I literally just said it.
I said, are they going to improve the Lakers or not? All I'm trying to do is show no matter what happens, no matter what happens to the Lakers, good. They went through the last year and they got their coach of the future, their superstar of the future, and their owner of the future, their billionaire owner of the future. And this guy is still negative and thinking that we're going to be a shit team for the next 10 years.
I didn't say that either. I just said that you
have some positivity in life, man.
Oh my God! All right, I mean,
be positive for a change.
I am positive. I'm positive about every single thing I just said.
You're positive that nothing good is going to happen.
I didn't say that. That's your influence.
Positive no trade is going to happen. Positive that
for the season, yes, I'm positive no trade before the season is going to happen. I do think we'll make a move at the deadline because of all the expiring contracts we have. But I am positive there will not be a preseason trade. We're going into the season like
You're
this.
Positive
Sorry about that.
You have no reason to be positive of that.
I do because of empirical evidence. All right. On that note, I'm going to stop here because I got to get going. Gerald and Tom, you guys can keep talking if you want. I'm just going to close it out.
Shut it down now.
I'm not.
See you later.
On this wonderful note, this is how Tom. Come by the Lakerholics website. We have a lot of fun.
Yes, guys are supposed to be advertising your site during the whole thing.
We have a lot of fun.
Kind of
Feel free to enter the fray. Michael H is normally in the fray as well. He's not here today. Michael, I hope you rescued the damsel in distress. To all the Lakerholics out there, howdy do. Hopefully you stop by the Laker Fast Break podcast because they're a lot of fun. I think they're fun. I find them fun. Even though Tom likes to put words in my mouth, he does the same thing on the blog, so it doesn't matter. I'm Jamie Sweet. This is LakerTom. That's Gerald Glassford down there. Thanks, Gerald, for everything you do. Thanks for making this work for us today and all that jazz. Everybody be safe out there, and let's not let the bastards win. Have a good one.